What's good? My name is Tish Collins, and I pray that life is being kind to y'all. If this your first time coming across my channel, welcome. If you're coming back, I appreciate you so much. Alright, my channel is an all-around type of channel because I'm an all-around type of person. I am not in a niche. Let's talk lock styles. So I've been locked for a year and 2 months, and I only get styles on an occasion because I don't like my locks to be pulling and tugging. I don't like to over manipulate them, so I just let them be free and flowy for the most part. But every now and again, I will pop outside with a style. I love the lock styles because they straight fire. And it's so fun going through that process of trying different lock styles on yourself to see what work, what don't work. But it's really all about understanding that locks really can be extremely versatile, especially if you're willing to like step out of the box, because I'm noticing within the lock community, everybody two-strand twist, two-strand twist, two-strand twist. I'm like, all these lock styles out here and y'all gonna keep going to get the same two-strand twist? I'm out here trying different styles. That's what this video is about. I will be talking about the 3 lock styles that I have tried thus far in my lock journey. I'm gonna be giving y'all my honest opinions, thoughts, ratings, what I like, what I didn't like. So let's dive into it. So the first lock style that I had was these 2 barrel twists with the little crossover at the front. So I just had 2 single locks crossed over at the front, and then they went into the barrel twist, and then at the bike it was just like a really tiny ball because I was still very much so in my starter life journey. All right, so I got this style done on December 13th, 2023. I was 85 days locks, or 2 months and 24 days, so roughly 3 months into my lock journey. I started my lock September 19th, 2023. Now I like this style a lot, but I wasn't in love with it. And I only say that I wasn't in love with it because up until this point I had only saw my locks like down and free and in my face. So when I had got this style, I was really able to see the size of my head for the first time, bro. And I was really struggling. I was really struggling with this for whatever reason. Like, I just could not get with it for like the first couple of days. But like after that, I was cool on it. I really like the crossover that my loctician did at the front, but I also love that her work is extremely neat. The parts are crisp and everything just came together beautifully. But overall, it's just 2 barrel twists, nothing crazy. Itching and tightness. So I noticed that a lot of people were saying that they experienced really bad itching and tightness when they came to their barrel twist with their locks. However, this just was not the case for me. So as far as itching goes, I have a problem area that I talk about often at the back of my head. It just start itching and tripping out from time to time. This has been a problem since way before I got locks. When I would get twists or braids or whatever the case is, like this specific part of the back of my head would just be tripping. So that's where the itching came in for me. However, as soon as I got home from my retwist appointment, I immediately put sulfur 8 at the back of my head. After I put the sulfur 8 on there, I was straight. I was good to go. And I left this style up for 30 days. And I only experienced the itching at the back of my head for like that first day or 2. And then I was cool. As far as tightness, I love that my loctician has really mastered like making sure that the style is neat and well formed and put together without pulling and making the style too tight, like unbearable. I love that for me, and that's another reason why I was able to leave that style up for 30 days. Now at this time I was extremely active on my TikTok, but I was not on YouTube or Instagram yet. So I made a post about this, and there were some people in my comments basically saying that, oh, the only reason I hadn't experienced the itching and the tightness and the pulling is because my locks hadn't matured. Now, again, mind you, when I got this style, I was roughly 3 months locked in, right? So, of course, I'm still in the starter stage, and most of my locks were still kind of like, they was still, you can still kind of see the twist. You know, they was doing their thing. But yeah, they was basically just saying, oh, just wait till they mature and they actually lock up, and then you will understand what we talking about. I'm gonna circle back to this later on in the conversation. Dandruff and scalp care. Now, because I left this style up for 30 days, some people was asking me like how I deal with dandruff. If dandruff or something of that nature comes up for me, again, it's gonna be at the problem area at the back of my head. But I already made a video about how I go about fixing that problem and how I deal with it when it gets really bad. So y'all can go check that out. But for the most part, as long as I am proactive, by proactive I mean that as soon as I get a retwist, I put the sulfurate at the parts of my scalp that be tripping. Or as soon as I get a style, I make sure I put the sulfur 8. But if it starts to flare up, it's because something has irritated it, or I'm not doing something that I'm supposed to be doing to take care of it. So I just try to make sure that I am very proactive about that area at the back of my head. This leads me into scalp care. So even though I had this style for 30 days, I was still oiling my scalp. I was still making sure that my scalp was hydrated. Now, I am not one of those people who sweat excessively, who scalp gets really dirty. Like, I'm just not one of those people. There was absolutely no build up. This style was all around great for me, and also I wasn't worried about washing my locks because I get my locks washed when I go to my retwist appointment. So I actually get my locks washed every 6 weeks. However, I'm about to change that. And once I do it, once I figure it out, y'all know I'm gonna bring it to you, let you know exactly what I'm doing. Now, you do what's best for you. Okay? Let me just go ahead and throw that. You do what's best for you. You wash your locks and your hair, your scalp as often as you feel you need to do so. Different strokes for different folks. Alright. What I noticed by having this style up for 30 days. So when my hair is free and flowy, I moisturize every single day. Now, when you couple this with the fact that my hair texture is really soft, this will cause for more of my locks, especially along my edges, to unravel. Now, unraveling is definitely part of the process, especially once you're only 3 months locked in. But I was also dealing with, if I had some locks that were starting to bud at this point in time, then because I was moisturizing, it would just make my hair softer. So the budding would just slip right off of there. Now, because I left this style up for 30 days, I noticed that I was not manipulating my locks much, if at all. Because of this, the locks that would normally unravel, they obviously didn't unravel because they were in a style, but then the ones that was having trouble getting traction, they were able to actually get traction because I wasn't manipulating my locks. So I definitely learned, if you just leave them alone, then they're going to go through their process. However, I'm not walking around here with no dry, frail locks, okay? So I'm going to keep moisturizing because they're going to lock up eventually. Like, I might be slowing down the process just a little bit, but they're going to lock up eventually. And actually, they almost mostly locked. It's just my ends have not locked in yet. So yeah, I would definitely try this style again. I'm gonna rate it a 7 out of 10, and we're moving right along in the style number 2. The second style that I got was this half up, half down with the barrel twist at the front. Now I got this style done January 17th of 2024. I was 120 days locked in at this point, 3 months and 29 days, so roughly 4 months. Now I will say this. If it were not for the 2 occasions happening bite to bite, the first one in December, the second one in January, I definitely would not have been manipulating my locks this much this early on in the process. But I definitely would not have gotten 2 styles of bite to bite. Anywho, I love this style. I was in love with it. I don't know what it is about this crisscross action that be going on at the front, but I have to have it. I got to get it. I definitely asked my loctician to do it again. With this style, I love the neatness. I love the crispiness of the parts. I love how it all just flows together. Now, what I will say about this style is, if I ever got it again in the future, I would wait until my locks are much longer. Because girl, my ponytail barely made it up there. My little ponytail barely made it up there. But then too, I just personally did not like where my locks at the bite had stopped at the time. So I definitely will wait till I got a little bit more length on me. So definitely, when you are picking your lock styles, take into account how long your locks actually are. I always say that. Don't nothing humble you on the length of your locks or how much your locks have grown, like getting the style. Don't nothing humble you like it. So just be cautious in that area. Itching and tightness. I left this style up for 30 days as well. I did not deal with any itching because as soon as I got home from my retwist appointment, I immediately put that sulfur 8 at the back of my head. And this is what I was saying earlier. As long as I am proactive about it, then it really don't trip out on me. And as far as tightness, again, she not heavy-handed. She don't be pulling my locks too tight. Like my scalp don't be hurting. And after this style, I didn't have a headache at all. So yeah, she did her thing again. Scalp care. Now I oil my scalp. I make sure that it was hydrated, but then I was also moisturizing the locks that were left out at the back, as well as the hair from the little ponytail that was at the top. Now, what I realized by leaving this style up for 30 days. Now, the locks that were at the front in the barrel twist, they were not manipulated as much. So some of those locks that would have unraveled did not, because they were not manipulated. The locks at the bite that were free were more prone to come unraveled because I was moisturizing them more and I was manipulating them way more than the ones that I was at the front. Now with this style, I was definitely able to see the difference in the locks that were being manipulated and moisturized every single day versus the ones that were kind of like more so left alone. However, again, I am gonna moisturize my locks. So if it's gonna take them a little longer, then it's just gonna take them a little longer. But what's funny is most of my locks at the back of my head are locked completely. So it's still crazy to me that those are actually fully locked, because those are the ones that were unraveling the most out of all of them. So overall, I get this style an 8 out of 10. I would definitely try again. When I'm about 2 to 3 years in, we can give it another go. But moving right into lock style number 3. The third style is these 4 barrel twists. I got this style done May 16th, 2024. I was 240 days locked in at this point, 7 months and 27 days. So basically 8 months locked into my journey. For this style in particular, I actually let my kinfolk or my supporters across all of my platforms pick this style for me. I just added my own little twist to the front. And y'all already know. Y'all should know by now. Something's gonna be crisscross at the front. Overall, I love everything about this style. I was so in love with it. The only things I was worried about was how the shape of my head was going to look with this style, yo. Like, I was so stressed about it in the beginning, but it turned out dope. I love the parting. I love how neat it is. I love how crisp it is. I love how it all came together. I loved everything about this. Now, here's the inspo pic for this style. And as y'all can see, their locks are really long, so they have a lot of hang time. Again, this is when you really want to take into account the length of your locks before you go get your style. Because my locks were not as long, I just asked my loctician to connect the 4 barrel twists together to make like one bun at the back of my head. And this is what we came up with. Now, y'all, me and her was both surprised that I had even just a little bit of hang time right there to like actually make it look decent. We was definitely shocked, but yeah, it turned out great. Itching and tightness. So with this style, I had a slight headache when I came back from my retwist appointment. So I just took some BC powder. And after I took the BC powder, I was straight on that. Now I did experience some itching on days like 1 and 2. But again, I just put the stuff right at the back of my head. And then that took care of that. Now I left this style up for well over 30 days. I believe the number was like 41 or 42 or something like that. Now, I usually only leave my lock styles up for 30 days so that I can give them time to breathe before I go in for my next retwist appointment. Honestly, I can't even remember why I left them up that long. I was probably in a depressive state. If anything, 30 days is my cap. Like, you got to come down. Now, with this style, my itching did flare up at like week 3. Like, I don't know if saying irritated or what the case was, but again, I just put some stuff for A back there and then that took care of that again. Now, I would like to take this time to circle right on back to the beginning of this video when I said, but yeah, they was basically just saying, oh, just wait till they mature and they actually lock up, and then you will understand what we're talking about. Now, I got this style when I was roughly 8 months, and again, still with the first style that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I hardly dealt with itching or irritation or tightness or pulling of my locks. I'm just trying to see, because they kept saying that. And I'm just trying to understand at what point are we anticipating that I'm supposed to be dealing with this issue that everybody else is dealing with? Tightness. This style was not tight. Like, I was actually surprised that this style was not tight at all. And that's just another reason why I love my loctician, lock care. Now, I was definitely all in my scalp, making sure that my scalp was hydrated. And because I left this style up for well over 30 days, I just want to point out that I did not have any buildup. My locks were not smelly. They were not matted together. Like, they actually came out quite easily. I actually got the video up of me taking those barrel twists out of my head, so y'all can go check that out as well. Now, here's a tip. If you put a bobby pin or 2 and stick it inside of your barrel twist, like somewhere obviously where it's not easily visible, but you know exactly where it is when you need it. Once your barrel twist start itching, just pull the bobby pin out and then get the little itch that you need to get, and then you stick it right back up in there, right? The bobby pin will definitely help you out, especially when you're out and about. Now, I just want to point out that I learned the bobby pin trick from somebody from TikTok. So shout out to you. What I noticed by having this style up for well over 30 days, any locks that were unraveling at this point, this is the point where they stopped unraveling, because they was in that lock style for so long that they didn't have a choice but to start just going along with the process. So yeah, that's that on that. Overall, I get this style a 9.5 out of 10. I would definitely try it again. However, I think I'm gonna wait until my locks get the length of that inspo pic, and then we'll run a bike. I don't think we're gonna do it right now. Alright, y'all. With all of that being said, it's time for me to get another style, and I will be letting y'all choose that style for me. Here go the 4 styles. Leave a comment on which style I should get. The occasion is in December, and that's when I will be getting this lock style that y'all picked. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. If you have any concerns, questions about anything, go ahead, drop it in the comment box and I'll be sure to get back to you. You can connect with me on all social media platforms at I am Tish Collins. I pray that today in life is being kind to you. And if it isn't, then I pray that tomorrow and every day after will be. Y'all keep going. We keep going. I love y'all, man, and I'll chop it up with y'all later.